Hi guys, it's Amy and you found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for your time. I do sincerely appreciate when you click on any of my videos. Well, this week was a pre-recorded video and I did not do that intentionally. I had so much to talk about in last week's video that when I got into editing, I realized it was just way too long. So this week's video is pre-recorded. I'm just going to be doing the intro for you right now. And so we're getting to that time of year where, I have issues with lighting. It's just gray and ugly. It was rainy. It's not raining anymore, but I don't get any sunshine. So you get this kind of gray look, but I want you to see this. So I have the light on, but then it's too bright. So I'm kind of figuring out my lighting. But anyway, so before I jump into the rest of what today's video is, I will explain what I've got here. This is the Chauncey by Expression Fiber Arts. And yeah, this was a group of minis that I had that I worked with to put this together. And I will link the video where I discuss making this down below, so you can go ahead and go check that out, please. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is something that I purchased at we've got a fun little antique type store where y'all know what an antique store is like. So I go in this store once every, I don't know, couple of months or so to see what things have kind of changed up. Now, previously I shared with you this great little thing, this great little set here that I bought. It's a barn, you can see, and then they are puzzle pieces. And this is plastic that they have kind of sewn around with some yarn. They remind me of like the old time strawberry baskets. If you're as old as I am, they used to make these little green strawberry baskets, and we always recycled them for different things. So they're puzzle pieces. Each one of them is 4 pieces. There's a horse. Whoops, I dropped that. There's a horse. There's a chicken. There is a cow. Look how cute. And what's the 4th one? Oh, a little piggy. So this was a really, really cute thing. It has a little tag on it. It says, "A quiet toy made for my daughter in the early 70s by my sister." So I saw that months ago, maybe a year ago, something like that. Just absolutely loved it. Bought it. And if I am not mistaken, this came from the same booth at the store, at the same store. And so I couldn't pass it up when I saw it. It was only $5. And I love the saying Noel. I love the song Noel at Christmas time. It's one of my favorites. Everybody's got like a peace or a joy or something that they kind of cling to or whatever. And we have our stocking holders that sit up on the mantle spell out Noel. There's one for each stocking, and there's 4 of us, my husband and I and my 2 children. So that always was a nice little stocking hanging thing by the mantle that said Noel. So I couldn't pass that up when I saw it. I knew I had to buy it. And so, yeah, so the rest of this video, I hope you enjoy it. I'm headed off now to the NARBC here in St. Louis. It's a National Reptile Breeder Association. And I see people from other places in the country that I watch on YouTube. So it's exciting to see Ed and Emily from the Snake Discovery. And Jay Tomsky is going to be there. He's moved to St. Louis, if you know him from the Brian Barczyk group. And Petco is here from Croatia. So Tarantula, the Dark Den, he does tarantula stuff. So it's going to be super exciting to go see him come all the way from Croatia. And I enjoy this show. I think this is the 3rd or 4th year that I've gone. So a lot of fun to see all the different type of reptiles and stuff that they've got to show us, what's going on in the breeders world these days. So, and then of course I get to see some snakes. So it's a good day for me. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. I'm going to double dip and use my outgo, my exit where I say thanks for watching, just so it's a seamless thing. I hope everybody's doing well, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. All right, so the next thing I was going to talk about was my blocking mats. So when I bought my first set of blocking mats, they look like these, and I think they're great. They give you some, arching. You can, not just use the 1-inch squares to block, but you can use the arches if you've got, curving things going on. And when you buy blocking mats, you may either get just straight pins that come with them that have a little T on their top, or you can get these type of pieces. They're you've got some that are super long, and then some that are half of that, and then more that are just the pins. So I'm bebopping along using my blocking mats and realized that I don't have enough. They come in sets of 9 usually, and I was making stuff that has kind of a longer curvature or a different shape to it, and I needed more. You know, obviously you can see you can puzzle piece them together to make them fit the shape that you need, but I still need, look at all my pin marks in them through time. But I needed some more. So I went to Amazon and tried to buy some more, and didn't necessarily realize that they come different sizes. Not only does the thickness of the mat come in different sizes, so I can't remember what my choices were. Not all mats come in both sizes type thing. But these are like 3/4 of an inch or something like that. And so I had to make sure that all of the others that I was buying was the same. But what I also didn't know, what I wish I know that I didn't know, wish I knew that I didn't know, is that how many puzzle teeth they have here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus the corner one. So let's call, 4 solid teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid teeth plus the corner one. So when I bought my next set of blocking mats, I didn't realize, and these only have 4 sets of teeth plus the corner one. So you can see why these would not fit together. These do not puzzle piece together. So when I have a bigger item that I need to block, what I have done is used one of these longer side pieces, and I stick it into, a couple of feet in this one and a couple of feet in this one to sort of hold them together. Not ideal, right? So here I am bebopping along, and I realize, you know what? This is not working. I've got to get another set that fits into one of these. So I pull up this initial order that I made a couple years ago. I love how Amazon can do that. They retain your ordering history so that if you need something that you've bought before, you can go find it again. Only it wasn't available anymore. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll match the second one that I got. Not available anymore. So I needed, here I am. I realized I do need to buy 2 sets that work together, that interlock together. Neither of the ones that I have are available anymore. So I did have to buy a 3rd set that I hoped and prayed would interlock together. They do have the right amount of teeth. Other than being different colors than each other, they're the same. They both offer a 1-inch square in the center, throughout the work here. And then all the teeth are going to fit together. All the puzzle piece teeth are going to fit together here. So now I've got, 18 of these that will work together, plus another 9 that I could sort of work on the side somehow if I needed to. So I'm really happy about that. So my last thing I'm going to talk about was blocked using these 2 sets that went together. So I was really happy about that. Okay, so here is I always have like a piece de resistance when I'm talking about other little whatever's things. This I'm super excited to show this to you. So I've talked before about Expression Fiber Arts offers limited time free patterns that are going to have a price tag added to them later. So I happen to have them followed or whatever on Facebook. I don't know if you don't do Facebook. I'm not sure if you can sign up for like your email and you get newsletters, and that's how you might know. But again, like on Fridays, I don't know if it's every Friday, but there is quite often a free pattern that will later have a price tag attached to it. So this is one of those. This is called the Dolyn Shawl, or shawlette, I guess. I made one. And there's a lot of differences in the way the pattern is and then what Amy did as per the usual. So again, it may be $6 or $7 to get the pattern now, but when I picked it up, it was free. And I knew exactly when I saw the pattern what I wanted to do, so like the pattern is shown with a white yarn and a blue variegated put together. So I showed you these 2 yarns put together that I wanted to use, And so that's what I did. But I didn't, when I saw this picture, I wanted the side color, the white color, to be my brown color. And I did not pick up the yarn in the right order. You have color A and color B. I didn't pay attention and just picked up one of them and started working with it. So when I realized I was getting to the point where the rows in the picture were going to be different colored than what I wanted them for my color combination, I was like, okay, we're just going with it. So the second thing about this that's a little bit different is the yarns that Shandy uses in her project are, the skeins are bigger than the yard, or she uses more yardage than what I had to work with. So I knew that on some of these rows where she does like 4 repeats, I might only do 3 repeats so that I could use all the yarn that I had, you know, stretch it out to complete the project. So once I started realizing that my colors were going to be off from where I wanted them, and I already knew I didn't have enough yarn to do the number of rows that she did, so I was already changing up the number of rows and the color combinations and all of that. A lot of times I'll say that I just want to work on a pattern and a yarn that I know is going to work because I don't want to think about it. But I had to think about this one quite a bit. So what you start out with, so right here, none of this has changed. This is the way that the pattern changes colors up to here. And so the colorways that you can see, this is a color called mahogany, and then the split color, let me look at this. Okay, so this was mahogany, and this is by New Garden Yarns, and this is BFL, what is that? Blue Face Leicester Chic. Yay! It says 100% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. I had 438 yards, and it is called mahogany, is my colorway. So I've shown you this in the last couple of videos as like a little teaser, maybe, if you will, to say what yarn I was using because I'm so excited. And then something else that really, really excites me is when I've used a cake of yarn down to a little nub, like in this case. Oh, this is the same yarn that is in the scarf that I just showed you, or the same brand anyway. So this, I caked up the whole hank of yarn, and then I used the cake down to, this is all that's left, and the yarn band fits back on it. I love that. So the same thing happened here. This was my variegated yarn that I used for this project, and I got down to enough of a cake that it fit in the yarn band. I love that. So, you know, I get a little excited and show you things out of order or talk too fast or whatever, but it is what it is. So when I was working on this, before I blocked it, I was really, really loving the way that this section works, because these striped colors here, you do in the back loop only when you change the color. So like like the white then and then the brown, it really stands out, and there's a little lip to it. I don't know if you can still see it quite as much. Oh yeah, you can. See, you can still see it here. There's like a little lip of it. That is back loop only that I was saying earlier on the baskets. So we've got that back loop only section. And I don't want to talk too much about the pattern because it is a paid pattern at this point. The free part has long passed. So again, I don't generally talk about things that are date importance, like a sale, because I don't know when I'm going to get to it, and I don't want to tell you guys that there was a sale and then you get out there and it's already long gone. So I usually won't bring stuff up as, oh, I just found this coupon, go save yourself some money, because I don't know when I'm going to get my video made. Anyway. So this is my version of the ways that I had to change up this pattern for the yarn that I have, and then I didn't even use it all up. So this next section is the meshy type section that you don't really see break open until you've done the pinning or the blocking, which I was happy to have that come out a little bit differently. And then she's got some other sections here, and these are some bobble stitches type I don't know if they're, she calls them baubles or puffs or something. Um, but you end up with multiple loops on your yarn. And so what I did to help spread my yarn out longer is I didn't make those puffs or baubles or whatever they are as big. So I only did like a yarn over 2 times or something so that I had fewer loops on my hook still. So these little bauble guys are going to be smaller than what her pattern intended. And then I'm not sure where else it changes up between what Amy did and what the pattern does. I know that in my head I said, well, here's all this white section, or the, you know, the lighter color, the variegated here that's in this lighter color. I wanted a bigger section like that of the brown as well, of that mahogany. So that's what I did down here to sort of, you know, we've got some stripe section and then the solid that's rather large and then another stripey section. And then I wanted to do the other color in kind of a big section. And then I just kind of decided I was done with it. It was different enough from the pattern. She does some other post stitches and things that I just decided not to do. And then I ended it with a similar pattern, similar to her pattern, and with a little picot there on the edge. And when I was unpinning it this morning to bring it to you, I realized I missed one of the picots. And so, oh, right here. Here's what happens when you can choose to pin or not to pin. That is the question, Shakespeare. I really believe that that when you pin, you get such a different item. I am going to be the first in line to say I'm too lazy to pin sometimes to block things out, but when you do, trust me, you can be really surprised by the way something looks if you didn't pin it and then decide later to pin it or whatever. Okay, so here you can see, I want to go on my dark on my shirt here. Here you can see picot, 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 and then here I missed one. So there's a picot right here that did not get pinned, and then it goes to picot. So it just looks like a flat section right there. And I only just realized that as I was taking it off the blocking to come show you today, right now. So I'm going to have to like repin that one little spot so that picot comes down. Look how pretty. So I wasn't feeling like this was going to be very big. And hers turned out huge, not huge, I mean a really good size. But this is not a shabby size. I am quite pleased with the way that this turned out. For having gone shorter. I really, really, really like it. So again, one of those, if you don't think that $6 is too much for a pattern, I highly suggest you go find this, or I will link it below. Go buy it. I get no kickback. There's nothing like that for me from this, but I will always share my emotion about a project, my feeling about, look at how cute. I really, really like that. When you can see the edge of a shawl that, I just love it. I just love it. Yay. So you'll go up here after. I'll fix that up here in a bit. Ooh, look at the green behind it. So anyway, okay. So those were my finished projects. What other chit-chatty stuff? Oh, my darn dogs, man. They keep... I told you that I changed up my my area here for my grandson has started walking. So we really wanted to give him some open space and let him roam. And so we moved some furniture, we changed some things, and my dogs have continued to jump over the couch and come over into this area. Luckily, they have not chewed up any of my yarn or any of my yarn things, but lots of toys that the kids had in here. There was a unicorn, like a little, what do they call that when it's like a little square blankie with a head in the center? It was a plush that was purchased at the store that my granddaughter loves, and the dogs shredded that. So the past 2 times we've gone out, we've tried to change things and get them closed up or kept them in the kitchen where they're not going to chew up our stuff. And then they got out anyway. So we've had a mess to clean up from that for the past 2 days. So now they're in kennels. So now I've had to crate my dog that I haven't had to crate in over a year or whatever. Make me mad. Don't make me be a bad guy. What else? We are in the market for a Christmas tree. I grew up with an artificial Christmas tree, and I love putting it up as early as I could possibly stand it. So, you know, there's a lot of, this year specifically, this year seems to be a lot of controversy over how early to put your decorations up for Christmas, and whether Thanksgiving gets bypassed by the holidays, you know, by focusing on Christmas stuff too early. And so this year we decided, last year's tree, we bought a pre-lit tree because I was tired of dealing with the lights, and the first year it went fine, and then after that it started to just go downhill. So we tossed that this past year, and we are in the market for a new Christmas tree, is my whole little ramble here. So I don't know how many of you are into your artificial Christmas trees, but what they have in the store is garbage. We looked and looked and looked, and there was one tree that we thought that the bristles or the needles looked decent, and it's $300 for a 7.5 foot tree. And so we started looking about it, thinking about it, whatever. If we get a real tree, they're between, we're finding $70 and $100 anyway. And then you got to go out there and do it, and then keep watering it, and it's such a mess. So if we can get 3 years at a fake tree that costs us $300, we feel like that's the equivalent, right? That's where we'll be happy. So I think I found a coupon for 15% off. Cross your fingers that we can get that to work, and then we should have a tree here shortly. So that's been exciting for me. I love Christmas. I love to get set up for Christmas, and I don't want to wait until the real trees start to become available, because that's still going to be a few weeks from now, and we're ready now. So how many of you have ever made sauerkraut? We have been toying with the idea of trying to make it ourselves for a while, so we finally did, and it was a horrible waste of time and a nightmare and a smelly, oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. So if you've done it yourself and you've got some tips, I mean, we've watched all the videos on YouTube. We do that cross-referencing. What does he say? What does he say? What do they both say? What did they neither say? You know, find out the best way to do something. So we tried, we failed miserably, and now the kitchen stinks of bad sauerkraut. Yesterday we had to go get our knives sharpened. My husband is kind of a really good cook, and he takes good care of his knives, and we've got a set of Viking knives that he's had for years and years because he takes really, really good care of them. And so there's a place downtown that we take them to go get sharpened, and we're very comfortable with them. We've been going to them for years. It's a drop-off situation, a walk-in and drop-off situation, and then we usually come back in a couple hours and it's done. And so we went this week on Friday, and we were going to go have breakfast. And the neighborhood that the knife sharpening place is in has a lot of little coffee and pastry type shops, but we wanted like some breakfast. Give me some hash browns and some bacon and some eggs. So long story short, we drove around looking for a decent place for about 45 minutes when the knives were going to be done in an hour. So we almost just turned around and went back to pick them up without even having had breakfast yet. But we went and found a place and ate very quickly, and it was yummy and everything was good. So if you get your knives sharpened at a place, let us know how your experience goes. Or do you have a knife sharpening kit at home? Do you do your knives yourself? Let us know. I have caught you guys up with everything that I've been working on. I do have one hank of yarn that I've got that I caked up and I've started using on another shawlette. I know I get tired of my shawlettes, but I love to make them, so too bad. Let me know down in the comments what you guys have been working on, what's keeping you busy, if you've got your tree up already, if you don't put your tree up until the very last minute, let us know. All right, guys, thanks so much for sitting with me today. I hope you're doing well. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and I do hope you'll come back and see me again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.